Hi guys, welcome to Forfeit Minds. We are four like-minded professionals with a keen interest in health and well-being. We present this weekly video chat to raise awareness of different topics that affect our daily lives. And first to ask the first question is Jane.
Right, Nigel. First question for you. So, what or who influenced your decision in choosing the military as a career path at the beginning?
Oh, yeah. So I don't know. It's a difficult one because obviously I left university and I'd been institutionalized through sort of GCSE, A-levels, then university, and I wanted to go backpacking. I'd had enough of studying, and it wasn't really for me. Education in that sort of structured way wasn't really for me. I just got pushed along by society, I suppose, and sort of, you know, when you're at school, you've got to get grades, you've got to go to university, and I didn't really want to, but I just sort of fell into that trap, and I ended up doing a subject I loved, which was sports science, and I absolutely loved it, and I wanted to prove people wrong that sports science is not a Mickey Mouse subject. It's actually very in-depth and probably one of the most, you know, important things in our life is understanding exercise and physiology and the importance it can play in health. So when I left university, I decided to go backpacking, and I didn't really want to work. I just wanted to enjoy life because I felt like I'd not really, you know, I feel like I'd almost done 10 years worth of grafting just to get to that place. So I wanted to chill out a little bit. And then when I come back from traveling, I was skint. And I needed a job, and I thought, you know, I just thought I'd just go into the military as a PTI. So I went to the RAF as a PTI because it's the only tri-service that, or one of the tri-services you can go in specifically as a PTI. I just liked the challenge of it, and someone mentioned it to me. I went to the careers office, and that was it really. So it was, I could have gone as an officer because I had a degree, but I wanted to be playing sport, and they said to me, says, listen, if you're good at sport, you'll never be doing your job. And pretty much that's how it went. We just used to train, and that used to be classed as work. So I loved it. So it wasn't really a person. It was just, I needed a job, and it was just like, yeah, let's have a go.
Where did you go backpack it? I'm sorry, we're all throwing questions at you now. Sorry, Colin, go on.
Was you an instructor in the army or?
No, I was in the Air Force. So that, again, like I say, it's, you go in as the Air Force as a PTI. So you train, you have a year's worth of training, just get beasted for a full year. And I'm still paying for that now, if I'm honest.
So what is a PTI?
Physical training instructor. Keep up, Colin.
No, I'm just making it clear for people that watch the video.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Where did you go backpacking?
I went to Australia, just took off.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So, I'll tell you a little funny story. I got in the taxi because my mum, I think my mum was busy. My mum's my mum. She you going to Australia? She like, I'll go into the shop. She won't bother, you know. So I took off, and I said, I'll see you in 6 months, mum. So I went off, got in taxi, and guy says, where you going? I says, I'm going to Australia. He went, what? He stopped, pulled up outside the road. He said, you going to Australia? I went, yeah, now. And he went, what? Anyway, he gave me my taxi ride for free, and he shook my hand, and he says, oh, all the best.
Wow.
I was in. And then throughout the time in my head in Australia, I always sang everywhere you go, always take the weather with you. Because the first time I arrived in Australia, in Sydney, it was pissing it down. And I thought, it was sunny in England. It was sunny in Danny. Now it's pissing it down. What's going on? Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Brilliant. Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's quite a good story, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Full of them, Colin. Full of them, mate.
We call him Jack and
Find
Ori.
out.
So, Colin, your question.
Okay. So my question. Okay, what is the first thing that comes to mind when I mention the word fun fair, and how does that make you feel?
Unfair. I'd probably just go straight to sort of the old waltzers and the Ferris wheel and dodgems and fish, hook a duck and all that. I probably won't take it further than that, really. You know, I don't know how you could.
Give you a good feeling.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it gives me a cold. I just associate them with like winter and bonfire night, and you know, cold. I never really go to them when it's summer. It's always seems to be for me. It's like you know, in the middle of the race course or around bonfire night, that sort of thing, and it's always cold. So it's one of them where you go, oh yeah, and then you enjoy it, don't you? But you think, I don't really want to be, you know, it's one of them, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like when you see sort of American boardwalk
No,
fair time, is it?
no,
Not in England.
No.
Not
Not like Greece. Not like
Yeah,
Greece.
it's nothing like that. Oh, is it?
So question 3, while Nigel's in the hot seat, my question is, tell us about one of your defining moments in life.
Ooh.
Ooh, careful.
Well, I'd probably say it's a difficult one. I'd probably say making the leap to go from being a PTI, physical training instructor in Civvy Street. So this is, again, I'm torn between leaving the military and then going from the passion of my hobby of training people to then into a business and actually make it more serious and stepping the game up and thinking, well, hang on a minute, you've got to provide here. You can't be doing just, you know, this to sort of make do. You know, are you gonna battle down and make this work after leaving the military and find another career that you can be good at, or are you just going to play around with it? And I fight that question. Obviously, I fight that with leaving the military, because that was a difficult one where everyone were telling me, oh, you've got a great pension, you can have a great pension, it's a secure job. And obviously going through COVID at the moment, you know, my pay wouldn't have gone up and down, it would have stayed the same. If I'd have gone through promotions, even during this time, it would have gone up. So nothing would have changed, but I didn't want that. I don't like security. I like risk. I definitely like risk. And I wanted to create the lifestyle that I wanted rather than what someone else dictated. So that's what I was always fighting for. And that's the biggest thing I would say to anyone is, and I learned that through my time going to university and through A-levels, probably, which I didn't want to do, but I felt society pushed me to do.
Yeah.
I would always say that to my kids, do what you want to do, follow what you want to do, rather than, you know, like I would never say to Daisy, go to university. You need to go to university. But that's all I got rammed down my neck when I was a kid. Predominantly from school, if I'm honest, you need to go to university. But going off at a tangent, I think most teachers that I've come across are probably so one-dimensional and so, you know, linear in their thinking that most of them don't like their job, but feel like they can't get any other role out there. Even though they've got a great skill set, they're just they're institutionalized.
I agree.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I would probably say the biggest one is transitioning to making my personal training business into a business. Full time, you know.
And it is a defining moment, isn't it? Because you're making that decision that you know you're gonna. That's it. You're in charge. Simple as.
I could have easily got a 9 to 5 and still done the odd PT around that and topped up my income. But what's going to be more impactful for you as results, for you as clients as results for clients, or myself, is to focus on it and drive it as big as I can get it. It's as simple as that, and everyone wins. Everyone wins.
Well, okay. I think that's been. Sorry.
Was it a big transition from going from the military? Was it quite structured in the military to go into a civilian life?
Yeah, unbelievably structured. Like that would thrash my head more than anything. The sort of reason for doing stuff. You know, the bullshit that you go through in the military is unbelievable, but it's for a purpose, because you need to be following orders. So when you're out, you know, in conflict, you're not questioning. You're just doing it, you're acting on it, and you've got to trust the hierarchical structure that is the military that they're not going to shaft you. But obviously a lot does go on because you're not in the military day to day, and people do take advantage of you, and people do shaft you, and their rank goes to their head. But the worst part of it was always through the training. My basic training was 9 weeks, which was taking me from a civvy to a soldier. And then the remaining sort of 10 months was me going from a soldier into a PTI. So someone was an elite performer and commanded authority, even though I was still a junior rank. So I was a corporal, but I would have to take control of senior rank personnel on runs, on circuits, on training sessions, organizing events such as adventure expeditions, climbing Snowdonia and stuff like that. We would have to organize and dictate And so you couldn't be shying away from, or, you know, if you've got a vice air marshal of the, which is a very senior role within the Air Force, and you're a corporal, which is about 10, 15 ranks higher than me, you can't be shying away. You've got to still give it to them as much as you would to someone of your rank. Yeah. But yeah, it's very structured. It has to be, but I pushed against that massively. The physical aspect of it, I loved. There was no science behind it. You were just getting beasted for the sake of it. You were just getting
Pretty much like boot camp.
Yeah, you're just getting. But imagine doing 6 of them, Jane. 6 sessions a day. I'm not joking yet. You'd get up in the morning, stand by your bed, parade, inspection, get ripped a new bum all because your uniform wasn't up to standard. Your room wasn't clean. Then you'd be out on the athletics track getting absolutely pummeled. Then someone would be setting up a circuit which you'd have to take part in, and you couldn't just toss it off. You'd have to give it full effort.
Yeah.
And then you'd probably break for a lunch. Then you'd be in a seminar class learning about anatomy and physiology, falling asleep like that. Then someone would get a tennis ball thrown at them, and then we'd all have to do, 100 press-ups to wake everyone up. Then we'd be outside in the swimming pool. It'd just be madness. Yeah. And then you're coughing your dinner down, to get energy, and you're just losing weight. I ended up like a nail. Like a nail.
That's where we need to go then. That's exactly what we need.
Yeah, you're not beasting us hard enough, Nigel.
Yeah.
So we've still got a spare tyre here. Can we have a more?
Oh, yeah.
Not the one we're flipping.
Yeah. So instead of six sessions a week, you want to be stepping up to 6 sessions a day. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. It's good to hear your kind of background as well.
Like I say, there were no science behind it. It was just how much could you take, and the ones that couldn't take it, they'd just be binned, or you'd just tap out because you were broken.
Do you think you could go back to it now?
What, and do what?
I don't know. If you were plucked from this life now and they said, we need you to go back and live that life again back in military.
Could I?
How would
I could,
you feel?
yeah, but I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
No, I was a part-time fiance. I'd now be a part-time husband and a part-time dad.
Yeah.
And that's the reason. If you're footloose and fancy free, or you marry someone in the military, you're sorted.
Yeah.
Because everyone
the two
understands.
don't mix.
No, not in my mind, not in my head, because no.
Brilliant.
Just pulled me against my values. That's all it did. My value, family time, etc.
Yeah.
And that's it, isn't it? And that's a lot of people's. It depends what their focus point is and what their end game is. And absolutely.
Okay, so that's your 3 hot seat questions, Nigel. Who wants to go in the hot seat next? I'm kind of so nervous. I'm thinking I want to put my own hand up to get it out of the way.
It's not definitely not bad, eh?
Why don't we pick names out of a hat?
If you want to do that, okay.
My name's not going back in it again.
Well, I'm happy to go next. I'm happy to go next. Yeah. Okay. Right. So thank you for today, Nigel. It's been really, really enlightening, and thank you for being so honest and open.
Always.
See you next week.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye.